The Golden State Warriors have made yet another headline-grabbing move, and this time, it's leaving fans divided right down the middle. Just days before the start of the 2025-26 NBA season, the Warriors have officially waived an NCAA champion guard who many believed had serious potential to carve out a role in the team's rotation. Was this a wise move by the front office, or could it turn out to be one of those hasty decisions that the franchise might regret later? Let's dive deep into this developing story, because there's a lot more behind the scenes than what first meets the eye. The player in question? A promising young guard who entered the league with championship pedigree, known for his energy, clutch playmaking, and defensive tenacity during his college years. He wasn't just another undrafted rookie hoping to survive camp, he was an NCAA champion, a player who had already tasted the pressure of winning at the highest collegiate level. Warriors fans were excited to see what he could bring to a team that's been in transition mode ever since their dynasty core began aging out of its prime. But suddenly, with one swift roster cut, his time in the Bay Area was over before it truly began. The announcement caught many by surprise, especially given that the Warriors had been preaching youth development and player growth all off-season. So, why would they waive a young, championship-tested guard at a time when the team is looking to refresh and rebuild around its veteran stars? To understand this decision, we first have to look at the Warriors' current roster situation. The 2025-26 season marks a critical turning point for the franchise. Stephen Curry, still playing at an elite level, is entering his late 30s. Draymond Green remains the emotional anchor, but even his durability has come into question in recent years. Klay Thompson's future remains uncertain, and the Warriors front office, led by Mike Dunleavy Jr., has been walking a fine line between competing now and building for the future. Throughout the summer, Golden State focused on balancing experience with youth. They brought in several young players with defensive upside and shooting potential while trying to shed expensive contracts that limited flexibility. The team also had to make difficult choices about who to keep for training camp and who to release. And in that battle for roster spots, the NCAA champion guard found himself in a tough position, battling against seasoned veterans, promising draft picks, and two-way contract players eager to prove themselves. According to sources close to the team, the Warriors' coaching staff was impressed by his work ethic and basketball IQ. He fit into the system quickly, understood the team's motion offense, and showed flashes of what made him successful in college: composure, hustle, and clutch decision-making. However, the biggest challenge came down to one thing: opportunity. Golden State already has a crowded backcourt. Between Curry, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and even new addition Quinton Post, who can handle the ball in small lineups, minutes are hard to come by. The Warriors are also experimenting with different offensive looks this season, emphasizing versatility and switching on defense. Unfortunately for the young guard, he may not have fit perfectly into that evolving system. Still, fans can't help but question the timing. Why release him now, right before the season begins? Some analysts suggest this was purely a financial and strategic decision. Waiving him early could allow the Warriors to open a roster spot for a veteran free agent, or convert one of their two-way players into a standard contract. Others believe the move could be part of a bigger plan, perhaps a sign that the Warriors are eyeing another trade in the coming weeks. The guard himself hasn't spoken publicly since the news broke, but reports indicate that several teams have already expressed interest in signing him. His reputation as a high-character player and proven winner in college makes him an attractive option for teams looking to bolster their backcourt depth. Don't be surprised if he finds a new home before the season officially tips off, maybe even with a rival Western Conference team. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture here. The Warriors have been trying to rebuild their identity ever since losing key veterans and struggling to maintain the same dominance they once had. The 2024-25 season was a wake-up call. Inconsistent performances, locker room tension, and an early playoff exit exposed the need for structural changes. Fans were hoping this season would mark a new beginning, one where Golden State blends its iconic core with emerging talent. That's what makes this waiver decision so interesting. On one hand, it shows the Warriors are being decisive, not sentimental. They're prioritizing fit and flexibility over potential, a move that championship-level organizations often make. But on the other hand, it also raises the question, are the Warriors cutting talent too early in their search for the perfect roster? Because history shows us that Golden State has occasionally let go of players who later blossomed elsewhere. Think about it, names like Gary Payton II, Jordan Poole, and even Juan Toscano Anderson all went through moments where their value was questioned before they became crucial contributors. The Warriors system can be challenging to learn, but once a player figures it out, they often thrive. That's why many fans feel this decision might come back to haunt them. Social media reaction has been split. Some fans say it was inevitable that the team needed to focus on veterans who can help Curry contend one more time. Others argue that the Warriors are making the same mistake they made before, undervaluing young players who can inject life and energy into the roster. On X, formerly Twitter, one fan wrote, "How do you preach development and then cut one of your most promising guards before he even gets real minutes?" Another fan replied, "It's a business move. This team's trying to win now, not 3 years from now." The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. The Warriors are in a transition era, trying to maximize what's left of their championship window while preparing for a future without Curry and Green. Every roster decision they make has to balance both short-term performance and long-term sustainability. Waiving this NCAA champion guard might have been less about his talent and more about timing and roster structure. Internally, the coaching staff might have wanted to give him a shot on the G League affiliate, the Santa Cruz Warriors, where he could continue developing without the pressure of NBA minutes. But that option depends on whether he clears waivers and whether another team picks him up. Given his potential, that's far from guaranteed. Meanwhile, the Warriors' front office remains tight-lipped, releasing only a brief statement thanking the player for his professionalism and wishing him success. But make no mistake, this decision will be analyzed throughout the early season, especially if the Warriors' bench struggles or if the guard finds success elsewhere. If he ends up thriving with another team, fans will undoubtedly point fingers at the Warriors' front office for being too impatient. But if the move allows Golden State to sign a key veteran or create roster flexibility that pays off later, then this could be viewed as a strategic masterstroke. At the end of the day, that's the drama of the NBA. Every decision, every cut, every signing can swing a team's future in unexpected ways. The Warriors are betting on their system, their culture, and their judgment, but it's a gamble nonetheless. One thing's for sure, this move has sparked conversations not just about one player, but about the direction of the franchise itself. Are the Warriors still the forward-thinking dynasty builders they once were, or are they struggling to adapt to a rapidly changing league? As the 2025-26 season approaches, all eyes will be on how this team performs out of the gate. If the young core steps up and the veterans stay healthy, fans will forget about this cut quickly. But if inconsistency creeps in and depth becomes an issue, this waiver might be remembered as the one that got away. In the world of basketball, timing is everything. The Warriors made their call. Now the real question is whether it was the right one. Was this a wise move that clears the path for a better roster balance, or a hasty mishap that could haunt Golden State down the line? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain in the ever-evolving saga of the Golden State Warriors, even the smallest roster moves can turn into the biggest stories. And this one? It's far from over.